it's me, and today is another thrift store makeover.
I'm just being gross.
I'm very excited about today. Normally for thrift store makeovers, I just go to my little supply cabinets. They have multiplied, there's two now, where I keep my hoarded thrift store stuff. However, I may have gone thrift shopping again and I found something. And instead of putting it in my cabinet to choose for later, I just cannot resist this item. I need to paint it and decorate it right now. It's a miniature mailbox. I don't even know what it is. I think it's a toy. It's got these interesting shapes on the top, kind of like cut out of it. It's very ugly and beat up. I love seeing that because it's just like so fun to take something ugly and make it not ugly, hopefully. That is always the goal. I love seeing a good old crusty, ugly item. Oh, I have a couple loose ideas in my head for this. I just feel like it has a lot of potential. I just have this feeling. But anyway, let's get into the makeover. Right, so here's the thing. Check it out, all the sides. Yes, yes, yes. And here we are at play school. School spelled incorrectly. I know it's on purpose. It's supposed to be cute or whatever, but
is education a joke to you?
It does have the little mail slot here and then these shape cutouts. And inside, I found a little surprise. It's blocks. Hang on, they're stuck. This one says 5 cents. And this one says
Whole.
It's one of those baby shaped sorter things. Mini-Me has one of these, or maybe two, I don't know. This is like the old crusty version, literally crusty. There are crumbs coming out of it. Well, personally, I don't think I'm in need of a shape sorter. I learned my shapes a long time ago. Been almost 2 years. I don't think I'll need these blocks anymore. Thank you, bye. Grabbing my mask, I'm gonna get to sanding. I was using extra fine sandpaper. I think if I really wanted to do this right, I would have to use coarser sandpaper, really tear it up, and then work my way up to fine sandpaper to smooth it out. But let's be real. I'm in this for the painting. Also, that would be a hazard. My squishy shelf is behind me. I don't want to get my squishies dusty. Minimum, it did remove the top layer of thrift store sludge. And oh look,
she's bleeding.
Wipe the dust off real quick, and then plopping out my silicone mat, I finally got a proper surface
to do clay things.
So to be a sculptor, you want to start by taking a nice handful of cream cheese and then dip into the water. Yeah, just work that in real mushy. I'm beginning to form a head and then a body, and then I'm gonna stick those together to make this little being. Everyone say hi being, hi being. Looks like one of those peg dolls if they gained a few pounds. And then I'm adding a very attractive little hump on top of the head. Everyone wants one of those. And adding a little trim piece around because, hey, it's a beanie and it's actually so cute. Then I'm adding some little bunny ears, and if you don't recognize who this is at this point, shame. I'm just kidding. Nobody's gonna recognize this. Does anyone remember those bunnies I made a while ago? You know the ones. I wanted to customize my laptop. I designed a scene of 6 different bunnies: Millie, Billy, Tilly, Willie, Lemon, and Lime, painting a rainbow and falling in love. Yeah, that. I'm thinking it's about time they come back for a visit. So this is Willie, and in typical fashion, he's got his arms in the air, celebrating
life,
I guess. And I'm gonna add him into this little shape hole and just work on smoothing all of that up. Through that process, his arms started to droop a little bit. You can see by this diagram here, he's supposed to look like this. Instead, we got this. For some reason, I panicked for a second and thought that fixing this was an impossible challenge that I would never accomplish, but scooched his arm up a little bit and that fixed it. So I almost forgot to add his little pom-pom on top of the beanie, and then adding a little, oh, that wasn't straight at all. Add a little more detail to his beanie, and voila. Moving down, who would like to live in here? Me. To answer that question, I'm back for more cream cheese.
I'm hungry today.
Again, with the head and the body, making some little ears, and this bunny is going to have one paw up under her chin and the other just hanging down, because this is the much more subdued Millie, and she's gonna be popping out right on the front of the mailbox, which you can't really see from this angle. Thank you, unqualified camera person. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's better. The final bunny I'm making is Billy, and he's gonna be added to the back of the mailbox in the little triangle spot. Problem is, Billy doesn't want to squeeze into a triangle. I could not get the clay to stick properly. All that excitement that I had for this project was fading a little bit, and I was wondering if if it was all gonna fall apart and I was gonna be left crying. But after about 20 minutes of struggle, all the bunnies are stuck for now. Miraculously, a couple days later, they're still holding strong. So now is the time for gesso, applying a nice 2 coats of gesso over the entire thing. Ugh, the background in these shots is so dark and ugly and ugh. This item was really tricky to film because it's so tall. It doesn't really fit in my normal filming setup. Okay, we gessoed. Now, if you're good with
The numbers.
you may have noticed that I only sculpted 3 bunnies when in fact there are 6. I did feel like 6 bunny sculptures was a little much and I don't want to do that. Not today. Also, I'm out of holes. So I decided to do half and half. Half sculpture, half flat painting. And finally, we are ready for paint. I'm still in the process of using up my remaining mural paint, which is perfect because the bunnies and I like to use the same exact color scheme for rainbow murals. During this project, I learned a little bit more about these bunnies. And when I say learned, I mean I made a bunch of crap up while I was painting them. They are called the worker bunnies, like worker bees, but worker bunnies. And they are a team of 6, each responsible for a different color of the rainbow. This we already know. The worker bunnies spend all of their time going around painting old, dilapidated objects and buildings. They see a dirty wall, they paint it rainbow. A boring building, rainbow. A poopy bathroom stall, rainbow. Is it always a rainbow? Yes, they're bunnies. They don't really have the brain capacity to travel outside of that one idea. What does that say about me? This is their life's mission, to bring joy and color to the world. It's really beautiful. Of course, this is also considered vandalism and it's technically illegal. So they have gotten a few fines. Billy caught a charge once, but let's just leave that out of the story, okay? This is one of their legal projects. Nobody's going to jail this time. Now, each of the bunnies are different and unique colors, so I had to take great care and do lots of paint farting to methodically create each of their colors. This took a long time. This was much easier digitally. And we start with Millie. Now, Millie, if you remember, is a sort of meek bunny, sweet and gentle, never saying a mean word. She's the quiet one, but also gets the most work done because she doesn't spend as much time running her mouth and yapping. I'm looking at you, Willie. Millie is responsible for the pink of the rainbow, hence the pink paint splattered all around her. Mess of paint. Their life's mission may be painting, but nobody said they were any good at it. And this is actually the first time I've designed Millie's whole face. In the original version, she's kind of facing away. I decided
She has freckles.
yes, I'm happy with that choice. I did add some gentle shading to the paint, some little highlights. I don't want to go too crazy because this is already, 3-dimensional as it is, and I want to be able to somewhat match the flat paintings. Speaking of flat paintings, here's the first one. It's Tilly, our purple girl. The main thing about Tilly is she's always upside down, okay? Always. If you ever see her right side up, run, because that must mean that the whole world is about to collapse on top of you. We don't know too much about Tilly because she doesn't communicate very well. She's dumb. I don't know if it's all the hanging upside down, if it's slowly killing brain cells. There's just not that much going on up there, but she is very cute and she's a part of the team and she does help. I did have a little dilemma painting this one because Tilly's purple paint is overlapping the purple stripe of the rainbow. I don't want them to be the exact same color because then you won't be able to really see what's going on here. So I decided that the paint splatter would be a lighter purple since paint does tend to be lighter when it's wet. And oh, hold on. Did I just turn Tilly right side up? No, I just turned us upside down. Tilly's painting was the most difficult. I struggled to capture that original design. I feel like this version is a slightly less cute Tilly. Tilly minus some brain cells. Several 100,000. Still cute though. All the way up, time to paint Willie. I thought it was perfect to stick Willie right on the top because he is kind of the leader of the worker bunnies. He also happens to do the least amount of actual work because he spends more time talking than working, but but he's still a critical part of the team. He keeps morale up, and that's important. Moving on to the back, here I'm painting the remaining 3, Billy, Lime, and Lemon. You'll notice Lemon and Lime are the only bunnies without rhyming names. They are part of the worker bunnies team, but they are also kind of on a planet of their own. They're falling in love. They're not really aware of anybody else. Now, the last time we saw the worker bunnies, Billy was getting painted on by Lemon, but this time Billy fights back. He is just dumping that paint all over Lemon. Actually, though, it's just an accident. Billy doesn't even know what he's doing. He's far too terrified for his own safety right now because he's, dangling out of this hole. Lemon doesn't really care that much at all. She's still too busy in her new romance with that ladies' man, Lime. You will notice something missing from the bunnies. Their paintbrushes. Well, they ditched those, okay? They ditched them a long time ago. Paintbrushes, they get crusty, too much of a hassle. These bunnies, they don't need them. They just go in with their paws. It's really just that they've graduated from paintbrushes. And also that I didn't want to paint paintbrushes. Alright, so front and back are basically done. Whew, that was a process. For the sides, I went real simple. All of the bunnies are accounted for, so I'm just gonna go for a solid color and add a few little paint splatters. Super simple, but also ended up taking forever because this does wrap around the sides and I had to keep touching things up. On the other side, I'm going for purple, adding a couple more paint splatters. Geez, these bunnies are messy. You call yourselves professionals. Finally, I decided to add a little drippiness to the rainbow stripes because clearly bunny dexterity is not all that. They're trying, they really are, but the best they can accomplish is a big, drippy, goopy mess. The last step, I'm going to apply some nice glossy varnish over the whole thing to protect my design. And here is the before and after. This is what the bunnies have done to the place. I honestly love how this came out so much. This was a big one. It was actually really time consuming because it is really large and there's sculpting involved. There's a lot of painting as well. So this just seemed to go on and on and on. Took me forever. I'm pleasantly surprised how well the 3D and 2D elements really do go together, and I do actually plan to use it. I want to use this to store some of my favorite letters and messages sent from my viewers that I've saved over the years. It is still fully functional, so you can get them out through here. Still looks a little dirty in there. Ugh, don't go in there. Anyway, I'd say a successful thrift store makeover. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!